What's up, hybrids? Welcome back to another episode of the Fandom Hybrid Podcast. This is Hanako, and I am here with Casey and Michelle. And we are recording our very first episode for 2024. Happy New Year to everyone.
Happy New Year.
It's been maybe about 6 weeks since we recorded anything because, holidays and life has been lifing. So how are you ladies doing?
We good? Wonderful. Great.
Good.
Great.
We excited for the Rashawn show coming out in a couple of weeks.
Yes, definitely.
All right.
Definitely.
I stay ready, so I have to get ready.
Good. So we are going to talk today about Fear the Walking Dead. We still have a few episodes from the final season that we need to get through. And I say get through very yeah, we got to get through.
It's rough. It's rough out there in those streets.
It's very rough. It's rough. But so we're going to talk about episode 9. This is the Sanctuary episode.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, for me, it was very weird going back to the Sanctuary. I mean, I know Dwight told Sherri that he was going home. I didn't think he was literally going like home. To, first he went to their house and then he went to Sanctuary, and then everything that happened there, it's like this episode was so odd to me because it like mirrored a lot of what we saw with the Sanctuary in the original show, but it was different. But I will say, first viewing of this episode, I felt like Uncle Vernon to Harry Potter when he stopped the post from coming on Sundays. Like, oh, this is the best episode of the back half of the season. Do you know why? No, why? Because Madison wasn't in this episode.
It didn't even feel like a Fear episode.
It didn't.
Felt like a Walking Dead episode.
It did.
It did. With the sprinkle of fear.
Yes. And
it wasn't fear with the sprinkle of Walking Dead. It was Walking Dead with a sprinkle of fear.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the sprinkle of fear because I got things to say. I have thoughts.
And I have questions because I know I may have missed it. I need a map. I really need a map. I need them to put the map on Google, YouTube, any place. I need a map because how are they traveling?
Right. Like,
and how far are things?
They have to be somewhere close because if you think about it, even going back to the first half of the season, when Morgan went back to King County, Grace found him.
Like it was a day.
And now
we can barely get to Orlando or Miami in a day, and y'all not even in the car high speed.
Well, you know what? They don't have the traffic that we have to deal with. We are in Atlanta. We have a lot.
Yeah, but even traveling to those places, you don't have to have traffic, but you got to be doing 75, and you get to Orlando in 7 hours, and you don't stop and pee.
Now, come on now. You probably do 75 on the regular here in 2024 real world traffic. So they probably going 100, 110, 120 miles. But even besides that, just the fact that y'all are so close, like, where is Padre?
Right.
Y'all are Texas and Georgia ain't nowhere near each other.
Close. And that's what it threw me off when we end up dealing with Padre after the nuclear stuff, because then I'm like, I am so confused of where we are, and we were trying to figure out with the river, whatever. And now when you making Padre close,
right,
the Morgan's house close, the Sanctuary, I'm confused. I need a map. If anyone out there who has a map, please post it. I need help.
Yeah, because it is really confusing. Like, when Dwight showed up at his house, I was like, okay, now we don't know how much time it's been, but we haven't seen Dwight for a few episodes. So he could have been for days. But we know that it's been from between.
Dwight didn't arrive with no car though either.
He didn't, but I seriously doubt well, then again, you know what? I'm not going to say I seriously doubt he walked all the way, because when he was looking for Sherri, he was walking.
That's
if he found a vehicle, then good. But especially since you have people who are staying in Sanctuary now, and they pretty much had the same MO as the Saviors did, they find people, they take their shit. So chances are anything that's running in that area, they probably have. Because if you remember, they tried to take the truck from Dove. So I'm guessing he walked. But you know what? After what he went through, he probably needed that walk. He probably needed to clear his mind. He probably needed to kill a couple of walkers because I mean, your son dies over some bullshit. You decide to split from your wife because of said bullshit. He was probably like, you know what? Like Dwight in this episode, for the most part, made so much sense to me because I was like, why are y'all not listening to this man? When you first show up and he's like, y'all need to get out of here because if the people who are looking for me find you, they're going to want to kill you. And then you act surprised when they're like, yeah, he burned our friend. Dwight, what'd you do? You the one that burned his friend? Excuse me. I could just tell you that you need to leave because we were looking for him for some shit. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna let him have it because he literally everything he was saying was making sense to me. Y'all just don't want to listen. Y'all don't want to listen. But the beginning of this episode, let me tell you, the guy, what was his name? Jay, when he comes in and he's talking about the insulin and the, you know, him losing his wife and his son. And like I said, everything mirrored what we saw in The Walking Dead. It was so eerie though, because at first I thought the same thing Dwight did. Like, okay, so who are you and how did you know about me and what are you doing? Like, it almost seemed like a setup. But I will say this, if this thing just happened, like what was it? Jay said that the guys who robbed him, they took his insulin and it was the insulin that he needed to have for a week. Now, Sanctuary is only 20 miles from Dwight's house. That's what Sherri says. It's 20 miles. So it's not like Dwight was gone forever.
Right. And was he walking it, horseback riding, or car?
Probably.
I wonder if they're using the GPS on your phone that gives you that same question. Are you gonna walk, drive, or horseback ride?
But it's so strange because even if he walked, okay, 20 miles, it's gonna take him a minute, and then he's got to come back. He probably came back a little bit faster because people were chasing after him. So he probably was doing some running, maybe found a bike, found something. I don't know. But the fact that old boy died while he was gone, I was like, okay, so I have type 2 diabetes. I'm on insulin. There have been times when I've had to go days without my insulin. I ain't dead yet. So I'm wondering, was this dude already injured when he showed up? I mean, remember he was coughing. Because other than that, I can't see, like we said, the timeline at this point, we're right around 15 years. I know you said you got a guy making insulin, but come on now. The Sanctuary is not that well stocked.
And I guess it also depends. Like if he had type 1 and you can't go.
That's true.
You can't go past your time at all.
Yeah. That's true. But
so I'm surprised he made it this far anyway, but that's neither here nor there.
What was the guy that was making insulin?
What'd you say?
Making it. Okay.
Right.
But you had to find a guy to make it. Now, you know what I'm saying? Negan had trouble getting medication. I know that was chemo, but insulin is difficult too, and the EpiPen.
But you know, if you still have if there are still medical people out there, and I know that there are, you know, you had Tony,
they are.
You have
Commonwealth
June,
has it.
Commonwealth has it. I'm sure that there are other people out there who can probably make it. But I will say this, like for this episode, there were too many coincidences. Like at a certain point, to me, it started feeling unbelievable. Like, oh, okay, well, this worked in the other show, so we're just gonna rewrite it in here, put a little spin on it. and then do whatever. It started to feel like too many coincidences. Because and like Dwight said, he was like, who sent you? He was like, is this a joke? Like, a guy with insulin who lost his wife and even when he mentioned it to Sherri when she showed up, he was like, yeah, this guy needed insulin. She was like, what? Because I know she was thinking, okay, almost 15 years in? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry, most of us with diabetes will probably be dead at that point because ain't nobody making medicine. You can't just make this stuff in your backyard. I know that there's some things you can jerry rig some of this stuff, but this stuff is made in labs for a reason.
Right, that's difficult.
So I don't know. It's just the coincidences at first. I was like, oh, okay, so I see how they're gonna pull Dwight into this. But I was just like, first of all, who wanted to clean up the sanctuary that bad? Because when Negan went back to it, it was disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing that I was thinking of is the walkers that they had on the fence. Not too many people are doing a call Drogo to the walkers to keep the chains on. That was a Negan thing, wasn't it? Negan was doing that, melting iron to keep the walkers attached. So yeah. I really was wondering.
And I was waiting for one of them to either recognize Dwight or some kind of way mention Negan because
okay, so it wasn't just me.
No, because it was me too. Because I'm like, why would you know to do that? Why would you know that was previously done? Right. That they, tying walkers to the gate in order to keep people away or whatever. But when nobody recognized who Dwight was, and clearly nobody said anything about Negan, I was like, well, okay,
yeah, maybe it was some walkers left on the gate.
No, because if you think about
it, when Negan went back, wasn't none there.
Nothing was there. I mean, there were some walkers that came in because remember he mentioned Big Richie. But
yeah, I'm just trying to help out the cause here. Yeah, I really don't know.
And then again, that was almost 10 years from when Negan went back to the sanctuary to what the timeline is now. That's a long time for those walkers to just be sitting there. I mean, especially other people probably have gone through that. I mean, you saw Dwight when he first walked into his house, all the beer bottles that he left for Sherri, someone had come in and drunk them and left the beer bottles on the floor. So it's not like, I mean, it's not out of the question that whoever was there also went to the sanctuary and they were like, oh, this big place, oh, it's a factory. Maybe some of the stuff got left behind upstairs. I mean, you saw Dwight's room was trashed, but most of the stuff that he still had there was there. So I don't know, but I had that same thought too, Casey. I was like, so this has got to be like, again, too much coincidence. And I love the way that Dwight was like, he said, so the medicine that you need, the guys who stole your medicine there and there, nope, see you. Dwight was like, I am not here for this shit. I'm good. And he was trying to tell this guy, who's like, look, the last time I was here, my life went bad. I do not have to go in. I'm not. And I mean, you literally, this man is telling y'all, he is giving y'all the nuggets of wisdom the whole fucking episode. Every time nobody listens to him, shit hits the fan. I was just like, you know what? At this point, I am team Dwight for the whole thing. When he threw old boy in the furnace, I was like, you know what? You were talking about ironing his face, and Dwight was like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. No, absolutely not. Dwight was like, you shall not put the iron to my face. How about this? How about I just throw your whole ass in there and then close the chute on your leg so you can't open. I was just I
just need to know how he was able to jump out if all of him charred up except for them goddamn legs. And then how y'all stand in the furnace with the fire lit and not blow up?
I don't know. I mean, he was in there screaming for a pretty long time. So I don't know. Maybe his friends pulled him out and tried to save him. Maybe because I didn't understand how he got from where Dwight threw him to inside the furnace. Because remember when they first got back to Sanctuary with Dove and all of them, he was at the door, trying to get out. And I was like, that don't seem like it will make sense. One, he looks like he should be a little more barbecued than that.
Yeah.
And two, like you said, if his legs were kind of cut, I don't know how deep that went, but I just don't see that somebody who was trapped the way he was and then burnt up, why is he standing and walking? Like, you really should be like one of those walkers that's crawling, dragging your limbs at this point. That's just how I feel about it. But there was something that Dwight said, and I'm trying to remember. I'm gonna have to wait for it it's playing in the background. There was something he said, and when he said it, I was sitting here hollering. I was like, look, Dwight is trying to tell y'all, look, I came back home for some peace and quiet. I didn't want to get to know nobody. I didn't want nobody coming to find me. Like, and then here's Sherri. Oh, one of the things. I thought it was interesting that when he gets back to the home and he finds Jay dead, because again, no insulin, is taking Dwight a moment to get back to him. Jay is dead, and he's like, you should have just finished me, Daryl. You should have just finished me, Daryl. I was like, why are you talking to Daryl now all of a sudden? All the shit that you have gone through since you left, not just the bad stuff.
That told him to do good.
Yeah, but you know what?
So
Dwight has been doing good. So maybe it's just the fact that he's kind of down and out.
At the point where he was trying to basically take himself out. So he was like, I'm trying to make fucking amends. Like, I'm trying to get to the point where I'm amended, where I can't amend no more amendments. You know what I mean?
Right.
So he was like, shit, what else? That's what he was like. I'm trying to make amends. I'm trying to make this right. I'm trying to, make sure I ain't wasting it.
Right.
But shit ain't going the way I needed to go.
Listen, okay, so I love Sherri, I do. But there are moments in this show, and this episode was one of them.
I was just like, Jesus.
I don't wish it that much, but she was kind of getting on my nerves in this one. She really was. One, the man told you how he felt. He was like, look, every time we try to get together, shit goes wrong. Maybe we're not meant to be together, whatever. And you know what? I applaud Dwight for actually being able to say that and felt like he mean it, because there are so many times when you have people who are in relationships and the relationships keep getting fucked up. And they force themselves to stay together. No, we can weather any storm. Sometimes the universe is trying to tell you that y'all don't need to be together. So, okay, so we are coming back from a small technical difficulty, but we are back. So Michelle, I know your video was frozen and everything before. What do you think about the whole Sherri and Dwight thing? Like, I was saying, I kind of understand and I applaud Dwight for being like, look, every time we together, shit goes bad. Like, we probably don't need to be together. Like,
yeah, I mean, I definitely get it, because, like, again, losing a child, that really does something to people's relationships.
mm-hmm.
So I just feel I'm hopeful for them. Did we need this whole episode about it? No.
And not even just that. I mean,
like, it's some of the stuff I'm like, we should have just got past already. Yeah, shit's gonna happen to us because, one, it's shitty out there. I mean, I'm confused, honey. What do you think is gonna happen? The only time you're gonna have something nice happen, if y'all need to go to Commonwealth, okay, and live in the city and get regular jobs.
But see, they don't even know about Commonwealth.
I know. So other than that, it's gonna be shitty.
But here's my thing. So
y'all just got to tough it through. I mean, y'all been through a lot and got back together and had a kid during this time and watch your kid grow up and pretending not to be, your baby's parents. Y'all can get through this. I mean, I'm understanding he's grieving, they're grieving, and he just went off and grieved on his own. That's understandable. But now, let's wrap this up.
So, like I said, I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with them being together. I love them together. But also, like you said, they're grieving. They are clearly in two different mind spaces right now. And some time apart because, as you can see, they're not on the same page. And she keeps going wrong and wrong. And okay. I kept hearing Casey in my head this whole episode. Dove need a whooping. Because when I say she got on my last damn nerve, but
trying to get away from y'all.
She had one of the best observances of the whole episode because she was like, Padre was right because people like y'all can't take care of us because you can't get past your own bullshit to take care of us. And I was like, she is so right. And I hate to say that because I always felt like Padre was a stupid ass concept. But she is right. They are so busy Sherri and Dwight are so busy trying to avoid their trauma and not in a healthy way. Dwight kind of sort of, because Dwight was like, okay, I need to be over here. I need to figure this out, whatever. He wasn't trying to pull anybody else in with him. So I get that. I also get for Sherri, she wants to make her son's death mean something. Okay? But I guess, and I say this because I've never lost a child. So I don't know if that's just that mindset, but I'm like, I don't know if I feel like a certain thing or a specific act would make his life mean any more or any less, if you get what I'm saying. Like, just the fact that he was alive and they got to, in the end, spend time with him as their parents. Like, because of him, they were able to have their family back together. And I feel like that was significant. I get what she's saying as far as she wants his death to mean something as far as saving the other children of Padre.
Yeah, and that it wasn't just a waste. Like so many other people that we just shooting and killing for no good reason. Like from his death, this has occurred, which was helpful to many others.
But I don't
and
think.
So, and I get what she's saying.
Yeah, but I don't think it's fair for her to put that on Dwight. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's not. But then both of them, y'all just leaving Padre with the kids just up in the air too.
No, Victor's in charge. Dwight was like, Victor ain't there.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. If it was something that when you guys were there, y'all was trying to help Finn and you were trying to help the other kids, and then something happened to him, and then y'all just kind of disappeared.
Said fuck them kids.
Basically, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Thank you, Casey. That is exactly right.
No longer there. You like.
Yeah. So now these kids, you come back. I mean, you were training them to at least to survive.
Well, Dwight. I will say this too.
And now you're like off in the wind saying, "Oh, Padre is horrible. Padre's a bad place."
Okay, so about that, I don't think he's necessarily saying that Padre's a bad place or anything like that. But I'm gonna be honest. If it was me, and the person who is now running Padre was one of the people who helped keep Padre running in the first place by stealing other folks' children, and now she is the one that's in charge saying, this is what we're doing. You know what? I get the hell on too. I couldn't do it.
But that's management. I get that. This say management. He didn't say management, Hanako. He did say it's not a great place. He could have said the management, I had to leave because I don't want to deal the same thing I had to do in the sanctuary. He didn't say that. He don't even know what the hell going on that Victor's in charge.
Yeah. But I mean, if you think about it, just from his own experience at Padre, like he lost his child because of Padre.
Mm-hmm.
So I can kind of understand him saying, you know what, fuck that place. Now,
Right. That's what I said.
But he didn't lose his child because of Padre. He lost his child because Shrike was a Looney Tune.
But she was Padre.
Well, he can't. No, you can't put the place on the person.
Yeah, no.
Because that means the children are bad. Again, that's why after
We're not
kids, that's how they're saying it.
But you know what? Some of them kids need some spankings.
And he could have been there to help guide them.
And do.
Because now
Dove got her spanking with a bullet. Sit your ass down.
So you want to sit here and talk about dodging responsibility. Like, you sitting here talking about, oh, you guys can't keep us safe. They could have kept you safe if you'd have stayed your ass in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Like, didn't nobody tell you to go out? Didn't nobody tell you? Were the one who, oh, y'all can't take care of me, I'm leaving, blah, blah, blah. You could have done that on your own time without them. You could have did something. But to sit there and be the cause of literally almost your own demise and then to blame it on them because they can't get their shit together, that part I was like, baby, this is all you. Because didn't nobody tell you to leave that house. Like, literally, again, Dwight told y'all, if these people find you here with me, they are going to kill you. Dove leaves, comes back, there's a bullet hole in the windshield, and she got a bullet in her side. No exit wound. When the guys show up, and they're like, yeah, you know, you burned our friends, so da-da-da. And Sherri was like, what is he talking about, Dwight? And looking at him like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, you were not there. That dude was about to put an iron to his face. You know what happened the first time that happened? And then
he said, I'll be damned.
And then Dove is like, you were the one that burned his friend. What did he tell y'all when you first showed up on his doorstep to get the hell on because somebody was trying to kill him? He literally spelled it out for y'all.
Where do you think his grades came from?
Like, oh no, Dwight, the person who y'all want to come back to train the kids at Padre, he just accidentally shot himself in the arm. Now, I mean, I know that they touched on the possibility of he might have been trying to end himself in this episode, but that wasn't until later.
Yeah.
Dwight was like, look, I just want to go home, sit on the couch, drink the beers I left for my wife that some motherfucker done came in and drank. Dwight was just like, you know what? I'm just done. I just want to be left alone. Y'all drag into this. And then not only into all of this, then you got the memories of Sanctuary. Because when they go into Sanctuary, they go into the medical office and you see the pregnancy test and the thing. And I had to sit there and look. Let me tell y'all, tell Anthony Michelle, I freeze framed the shit out of that scene because when they showed that pregnancy test, they had the positive sign. And then they showed the flashback. I had to make sure it wasn't the same pregnancy test. I said, because are you telling me that Sherri left Sanctuary because she was pregnant? What happened to that baby? I have all kinds of questions now. Like, was that her pregnancy test? Or were they just leaving positive pregnancy tests around? Like, but I mean, who knows? Because we don't even know if Negan got a doctor after he threw the other doctor in the furnace.
We don't.
Because the Sanctuary fell pretty much right at, a little bit after that. But I was just like, hold up. I'm sitting here having conspiracy theories in my head. Like, okay, that pregnancy test clearly has a plus sign on it. And the way she was looking at Dwight, I was like, wait, is there something I'm missing here? I don't think so because they showed the other pregnancy test. And like I said, that one was not as clear. And it looked just slightly different. But I was sitting here rewinding.
I don't know what they're trying to say.
I was rewinding this a couple of times and looking at her face and the way she was looking at Dwight. And I know she was looking like, ooh, I don't want him to think about that day he walked in and, I was getting a pregnancy test to see if I was pregnant with Negan's baby. But whoever was pregnant, somebody was pregnant there at the Sanctuary. And I don't know, something about the way she looked at him. It was I'm wondering. And then with them coming back to the Sanctuary, and then at the end of the episode, they're deciding to stay. They're gonna remake the Sanctuary. They're gonna, repurpose it and make it what it was supposed to be and all this other stuff. I was like, okay, So y'all have Morgan going back to Alexandria to look for Rick. You have Sherri and Dwight coming back to Sanctuary. At some point, I feel like Negan is probably going to end up back in that area, especially with um what's her name is having him do. The Croat found him through old Sanctuary people. So I'm like, are y'all trying to prepare us for Walking Dead 2.0 or what is going on here? Like
I
everybody's
don't
going
think they
back,
could go back to the sanctuary though.
huh?
I don't think they can. Like the sanctuary
See,
basically failed.
see,
So
that's
I
what
don't.
I thought too. But Sherri said it at the end. She was talking, especially when the Finch showed up. I was like, wait a minute. I was
I thought
like,
she was saying she was speaking on PADRE. I didn't think she was speaking on sanctuary itself.
oh,
Yeah,
okay.
because it's falling apart.
Yeah,
And see, that's what I thought too. So I was really
I mean, it
confused. But I
literally
only
it
saw
was.
that part once
it
because
literally survived in the goddamn furnace. So
yeah.
what
Because
rebuild?
I was like,
An architect somewhere we don't know about.
yeah.
I, I don't see them rebuilding that.
Yeah, especially
Point
with
is,
the walls. So I was confused,
exactly.
but like I said, I only saw it once. But I was tripping about the fact that you see this Finch um come up and land on top of the furnace, and that's your sign. We've been watching The Walking Dead for 100 years, ain't seen not one damn bird. We done seen deer, we done seen dogs, we done seen a cat. I ain't seen that one damn bird. And then all of a sudden, right there in the sanctuary, after the sanctuary falls, a finch lands on the furnace right above your head. The same
Yeah,
bird that your
Yeah,
son was named
yeah,
after. Again,
yeah.
some of the coincidences were kind of just like, y'all pushing too hard.
No, they
yeah.
wasn't.
They are.
It wasn't. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful moment to see this rare bird.
You know what? Whatever. Whatever. Um,
Oh,
I don't even know where my train of thought was going after that Emmy worthy performance.
it was. It was. It was. It was. Y'all should jot that down and nominate me for something.
Okay, here's the other thing. I need June to get over her shit.
Oh
Like,
my god.
Right. You
Oh
have.
my
Oh my
fucking god.
goodness.
so June in this show for me is she's the Carol of this show for me. Like when she is on her game, she is badass, she is tough.
Mm-hmm.
But when she is feeling her stuff, when she is feeling her trauma, it's almost like you want to shake her and be like any other world, any other time, if this was not a world where people are trying to kill you and you got a girl dying on your table from a bullet wound and all this other stuff, if you didn't have all that stuff going on, I would be like, June, go get some therapy, get some help, face your trauma, deal with it, heal. We don't have time for that in this particular episode. Like,
Mm-hmm.
literally, the building is coming down around you. And instead of telling them, I can't do this surgery because I don't have a fucking finger, you want to talk around it and put this girl's life in danger. Bub, when she was sitting there trying to pull that bullet out, I said, okay, you know what? That's dumb as hell, but you know what? I don't blame you. Because
I get it.
at this point, none of the adults around her are reliable. Dwight's gonna
None.
go. Dwight's going off on a suicide mission because he wants to get himself killed. Sherri's sitting here fussing at him and locks him in the door, and then she goes do the same damn thing. And then June is sitting there having a pity party. And again, I get it. I get it. All the trauma of losing her child, the trauma of losing Finch, the trauma of seeing that Hannah, what happened to her. I get it. But right now is not the time. And I'm sorry if you have survived this long in a zombie apocalypse, it's because you know that sometimes there is not time for you to deal with that trauma. Think about it with Dwight. When Dwight was sitting there in front of the furnace and he was having flashbacks, his ass got caught. That's how he got shot.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody else is depending on you to live. You made the decision to go in there. Yes, you told him you didn't want to go and he talked you into it, but still, once he talked you into it and you said, meet me, I'll meet you back at the house, and you walk yourself in there, I know that that's a traumatic place for you. I know that place has nothing but bad memories for you. But now is not the time for you to deal with it. If you are 20 years into a zombie apocalypse, you have to know that by now.
How y'all still getting somewhere and zoning the fuck out?
Right.
Nobody
Like,
has time for this.
I don't care what's going on. I'm not gonna be so deeply enthralled in whatever I'm looking at that I don't hear. Cause I'm sure you can hear them running, footsteps, guns cocking. You so focused on the fire, I can't hear shit.
Or doing something like being so mad because Sherri done locked you in the room, you start punching the fucking wall. Also, you're gonna break your hand, and then what good is that gonna do anybody? Now, 2 of y'all walking around with disabled hands, not able to help anybody. Like, I know it's a show about trauma. I know it's a show about dealing with that trauma. But I'm sorry. There is a young girl in front of you dying. The walls are literally coming apart. I need y'all to get your shit together and be the badasses that you were that allowed you to stay alive this long. And then once you get out of this immediate danger, fall the fuck apart if you need to. Do your wailing, have your moment, but do it once you are sure that you and the people around you are safe. And I know I'm saying this to somebody who's never been through that kind of trauma. I might do the same thing if I was surrounded by zombies and a girl is bleeding on. I might have some issues, and I'm in the place where, you know, this guy burned my husband and he was back. I might have some trauma too. But right now, in my sane mind, I can't. No, I need y'all to get your shit together. And I need Sherri and Dwight to not be having an argument while they're trying to kill walkers. Like, y'all just drawing everybody to you. Just kill the walkers in silence.
Noisy as hell, loud as hell, arguing. Shut the fuck up.
And I know that's a conversation y'all needed to have. Y'all did not need to have it right then and there, because both of y'all almost got shot. And speaking of which, that dude who was doing the shooting, for you to be mouthy the way you are and walking around with that armor looking like you know how to handle some shit, I need you to have better aim, because Dwight and Sherri were right there. They were right there. Both of them should be dead right now. Not that I want them dead, because again, I'm rooting for Dwight and Sherri. They have been through some shit. They have come through it. I'm rooting for them. Hey, we can't have a therapy session while we're trying to keep other people alive. That's just, we can't do that right now. We can't do that right now. You got walkers climbing in the building. You got walkers bringing down the walls. The fucking ceiling is caving in. I need y'all to not be arguing about which one of y'all want to die more.
Right. That part.
Like, I understand it. Just admit, okay, you know what? Both of us fucked in the head right now. We will come back to this. Let's kill these walkers. Let's save this girl. Let's get the fuck out.
We'll revisit this at a later
We will revisit this at a later time.
Because right now, let's go.
It's just,
we got to survive enough.
Right. And again, all of this is happening because y'all wanted to bring Dwight back to a place he didn't want to be, to do a job he no longer wants to do because of a problem that somebody else created. When he said, so what's the deal? They were like, you know, this guy Troy is coming. He's got a bone to pick with Madison. He was like, that sounds like a personal problem to me.
And it is. And it is. And they don't need to be a part of that.
Right. Like the fact that this person came in and she done fucked all y'all's lives up now.
Everybody.
Because now she's trying to make up for her bullshit. Again, adults fucking everything up because they can't deal with their trauma. They can't deal with their bullshit. I mean, that's literally Madison in this final season. Like,
I agree 1,000%.
Mm-hmm.
But that furnace was holding up. They got into it, which I was.
Girl, when they crawled in there and then lit the fire, I was like,
Okay, this what we
there's no
doing?
more gas going to it. Y'all not gonna blow up. No, y'all. It's safe to get in the furnace
Well,
because
I get. I see. I was looking. I was like, oh, okay.
I guess it
So,
wouldn't be a gas.
okay. So I'm
I
looking
guess
at
it
this.
wouldn't be a gas furnace. It would be a wood burning furnace.
Yeah, it's a wood burning because remember, Dwight was looking at the wood, but still, okay. So I'm sitting here looking at it in the background. This is when the dude has Dwight up against the door, and Dwight lets the walker. Yeah, that walker is pretty. Like he's still in better condition than I expected him to be for someone who was like literally in the fire and locked in the fire. I feel like he should be a little more crispy,
a little crunchier,
a little more crunchy. And again, I feel like his something, but you know what? He took maybe 1-2 steps out, and then he landed on top of that dude and started eating. So maybe he can't walk. You know, it's possible, but yeah, I actually did like this episode more than I've liked some of the other episodes in this season, simply because one, we're not dealing with Padre, even though Padre keeps coming up. We're not actually dealing with Padre. There's no Madison in this episode, which I am thankful for, because when I say we still have a few episodes left, and I'm already so sick of her. I'm so sick of seeing her face. So I'm glad we got the break. But I need all three of these adults. Like, y'all need to go to Alexandria, find Father Gabriel, and get some whatever it was that he did with Sasha and Maggie, and kind of help them through. I need them. I need them to get some help, because Dove is right. They are not going to be able to help these kids if they can get their shit together.
Mm-hmm.
And all they're going to do is prove Padre right, prove Shrike and Crane right.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, it's true.
And that's not something I want, because I don't think that they were right. But then again, I'm looking at it from a real world perspective. You know, no, children can't raise themselves, especially not in our world with everything that's going on. But in a zombie apocalypse, I don't know. This episode kind of made me think like, okay, maybe they had maybe not the right idea, but maybe they did have good intentions because of all of this. Right. Because clearly, all three of the adults here, they've all lost children. They've all done things that they didn't want to do. They've been forced to do things in situations. All of them have major, major, major trauma that has not been dealt with. Granted, yes, Sherri and Dwight got back together, but even they couldn't even be together the last 7 years because of Padre. So that's a whole other thing to unpack. Because you're living this happy life, and then you escape, and then you have to go back to this place. And the person who is in charge of the place is like, okay, well, since y'all stole my to-be wife, since y'all stole these medical supplies and y'all didn't come back with none of this shit, okay, y'all got to do a trade. He takes Sherri as a wife. He burns Dwight, makes Dwight his bitch boy, and then relishes in every opportunity to throw it in Dwight's face that, yeah, I'm fucking your wife. Again, the Negan of that time, not, you know what I'm saying? And then y'all go through all of this, y'all find each other. And it's like, I know that Sherri had her moment where she was traumatized by it. And she told Dwight, and she tried to leave him for, she left him a little bit because she couldn't deal with it. But like, okay, we got a nurse. We done found a thoracic surgeon. We found somebody who can make insulin, apparently. Can we please find somebody that's a therapist? Because these people need it. They need it. They are not going to be able to do what they need to do at Padre if they can't get their shit together.
We just need to burn Padre down and restart.
But you know what? I understand the concept, and especially the location. Like,
We don't even know where it's at.
I
We
understood.
know it's on an island, and we know that
Right.
it's, for the most part, well protected. So that part I get, but
I get the original idea from the dad, but where it has gone, completely went left.
yeah, because his children are stupid.
So this episode was okay. I'm still struggling.
I liked it.
I mean, it's okay because it wasn't a fear.
Yeah, I liked it for the throwback reasons.
Yeah, I did like seeing the flashbacks.
Yeah, I like that. I like that we finally see that, okay, this is definitely the end of Sanctuary. You know?
Yeah.
It's definitely the end because we had the, the portion where Negan went back and everybody was gone and we see it didn't thrive like they wanted it to. So we saw that, but now we're at the point where, okay, nobody else can stay in this place. It's literally.
So for me, if you just, the flashback's great, but it did nothing for where we're trying to go right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like this didn't add.
Well, yeah. So
that's the ad. It got Dwight back to where he's back in
he's back in family mode. So
okay, but we are going Madison, Victor, Alicia, Madison, Victor, Alicia.
As far
Dwight and Sherry.
Yeah. Oh, don't forget Nick. Don't forget Nick. We still got Nick in a coffee can that they trying to find some place.
Right. So for me, like if this episode was, well, it couldn't have been last. I don't know. It's like it's the placement of it.
Okay.
Well, I already feel like this season it should have ended.
Well, yeah,
so we didn't really need
this feels very much like one, like you said, it does feel like a Walking Dead episode and not a Fear the Walking Dead.
But I think it's trying to give us closure for them, really.
Yeah,
like no matter what, we know that they're back on the same terms. They probably will get together.
Yeah,
they may end up with kids in the future. Like, really, it's fans really want to know about Sherri and Dwight. We need to throw them in there. Because at this point, like, you could have did an episode with everyone that we don't see and what happened to them.
Yeah. But because this was very much aside from the Padre references, this was very much a standalone episode. Like, it really had nothing to do with the rest of the story because they took it out of where everybody else is.
Right. Because it could have been almost like The Walking Dead when they did the Negan one. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like a bonus episode. Like, this could have been a bonus episode for us to really, understand what Sherri and Dwight went through and how they came back.
True. And then now they're about to walk into some more bullshit because if they're going back to Padre, we see at the end of the episode, guess who Victor has? He has Troy's daughter.
Right.
I was like, oh, y'all are just about to make this so much worse. Because why? Why?
Yeah, well, that's that's stupid.
This girl look kind of
because it's Victor, because he has an ulterior motive, and because it's fucking Victor.
Yeah, that's true.
I hate to say it, but if it's one person, I hope don't make it to the fucking end. Victor.
Really?
Which one, Victor or Madison?
Victor.
I'm all right with Victor.
Victor get on my nerves more than Madison does. I'm sorry.
Really?
Victor does not get on my nerves. I'd be mad at Victor. I'd be ready for him to die, but he's just very smart. He's
Victor
very
is a chameleon, and Victor
he really is.
I hate
and
to
you
say
can't
it.
say nothing about it. You can't. I mean, he is playing whatever he needs to play to survive.
Victor is doing. I hate to say it like this. Victor is doing what the other adults need to do. Like, he doesn't let his trauma dictate what he does or to make stupid decisions. He does allow it to dictate what he does, but I think it's in a more positive way for the most part, because Victor takes his trauma and he's like, okay, did that shit didn't work. Let me try something different. So if being Victor Strand and being a dictator doesn't work, okay, let me do a 180. Let me become Anton. Let me find a loving husband. Let me find a son. Let me find I feel like maybe more of who he was before this happened. Because if you remember when we first met Victor in the very first season, he had a partner. He had a husband. So we at least know that
but
he's capable of that. So
he's capable of all these things. We're just seeing the different parts of him. I think
he pivots. He pivots.
Yeah, he pivots
in one
real
direction.
quick.
Oh, this is not working. Okay, let me turn this
right. And it's like, this is the room I'm in. So this is how I'm going to work this room.
Right.
So if this is the room and all these people are friendly, loving adults, I'm going to be a friendly, loving adults. If I'm in a people who need to be taken charge of, I'm going to do that. Now, yeah, I shouldn't have thrown that man off that roof and a few other people.
Right.
Oh, I do feel kind of bad. I won't do that again. I may do something different, like lock him up in the closet or something.
Right. But
however, I just he reads the room and he's like, this is what needs to be done. And he was like that. If we did a flashback on him, he probably was like that as a kid. And his first husband got the good side of him. I think that's why. Was it his mom, the husband's mom, who was like, I don't trust him? Yeah, because she saw his wheels are spinning. Like, how this gonna work out?
Was it the mom or was it like I think she may have
I wasn't sure.
Housekeeper.
Maybe the housekeeper.
I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
It was the mom.
It was the mom.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was.
So I don't fault him. That's how he spit. Madison.
See, Madison is a complete opposite because she's taking so you have Victor on one extreme. You have Sherri, Dwight, and June who are right here. Like all of their trauma is fresh for right now. You know, Finch and Hannah and June losing her finger. All of this is like recent. So they're still in that trauma headspace, but they're trying to do the right thing. Madison, I feel like, is all the way on the opposite spectrum. Like she still has trauma from all this shit that she went through to get where she is. But then on top of the trauma, now she's got guilt added onto that. And because she's trying to make up for all the shit she did, she's putting other people in danger. And that's just it's the wrong type of extreme.
Right, but then she was kind of like that in the beginning.
Decisions. If she was, I hate to say it, if she was being a little bit more like Victor, or I should say, let me see, if she had Victor's diplomacy, because Victor can charm his way into and out of a lot of things. Madison cannot. That's not her personality. That's not what she does. She's very harsh. She's very brusque. She's very to the point. Madison is very, do as I say or fuck you. That's really her attitude.
Right. And she's been like that since the beginning. Trauma free. And
I've not liked her
before. Right. She's been like that. Like some of the choices she has made and how she treated people like crap has been from the beginning.
I mean, even them coming across Victor. Victor wasn't trying to deal with them. He was like, look, I have my boat. I'm going to get the fuck on. Oh, we're coming with you. How you going to tell me you coming with
me?
On my boat.
On my
boat. She don't even care. I'm starting to lose names because when that boy's mom died, she didn't care.
Liza, I think was her name.
She didn't care.
So
when he flipped out, oh, Alicia's in trouble. Your son is crazy. But you do the same stuff now. Like, I'm confused. But you're an adult. That boy was a teenager. You see, I still feel bad about how he was treated. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, Chris got on my nerves, but he did not deserve to go out the way he did.
No, but he was still a teenager, though. He was a teenager going through things.
Right.
His decisions was what a teenager do. She's a full-on 50-year-old. How old is she at this point?
I don't know. But yeah.
Okay.
You're right.
Okay.
You're right.
I mean, some of this stuff is like, boo.
Come on now.
So I mean, yeah, I I don't know. I like this episode. I like that it was different. But yeah, I have to say I thought that I would feel a little bit better because it's been over a month since we talked about the last episode. And I was like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And also the series has ended, it's done. So I thought, okay, maybe a few weeks, away from it might soften my view. And then it's still just like, no, they need to be like at this point, I feel like they're just doing stuff just to do stuff at this point. Do not walk on my laptop, little girl. Sorry, cat. But yeah. At this point, I am ready to put this show to bed. I'm ready for us to talk about Daryl Dixon. I'm ready for us to talk about the ones who live. Fear the Walking Dead is like, yeah, I just it's outlived its time. It really has.
It has.
Now, there are still characters that I would love to see in other Walking Dead stuff, but I don't need to see
And
all
I'm sure
of this.
we will.
We probably will. I'm pretty, especially because you took them back to a place that they've been before. I'm pretty sure we'll see Sherri and Dwight at some point.
And Morgan. Yes. And Morgan.
Of course, Morgan. I mean, Morgan.
And maybe the others.
The ones who Victor said died on.
Well, Victor was dead too, and Madison was dead too. So they may have a chance. They may pop up somewhere else.
So yeah, we can see Sarah and Wendell.
Yeah, I'm hoping so.
I still want to know what happened to the kids. Because, I mean, and again, I understand it's a zombie apocalypse. People are going to die. But you can't take a whole group of fucking kids and not one, but in a radioactive, city area. All of those kids, it was what, altogether like maybe 8, 9, 10 of them. All of those kids don't survive. But the person who was supposed to be with them, who is also wheelchair bound, he made it out. Like nobody helped him. He didn't help him. Y'all trying to tell me Wendell left all those kids for dead? I don't think he would do that. You tell me that those kids abandoned him? I don't think they would do that. So it doesn't make sense that we don't know what happened to not one of those children. And then now you're telling us that, Sarah, Wendell, who is it, Emil, Rabbi Jacob, we don't know where any of them are either. It's just at this point, just give me my closure and shut the door. I can't. How many more episodes we have of this to do? It's what?
3.
Is it 3 more?
3? Yeah, because this is 9, 10, 11. 12.
So we got 3 more episodes.
Or 2. 10. No, 3. 10, 11. Episode 10, episode 11, episode 12. 3.
Okay. So there are 12. Okay. Because I couldn't remember. I was like, is it 12? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It is.
But ain't the last one like 2 hours or something?
Oh.
Let's see.
Yeah. So yes, it's 12 episodes. They did 11 and 12 together. So okay, so we have three episodes, and I guess 2 technically if we're going to talk about
11 and 12 together. Okay.
All right. Y'all have any final thoughts on this episode?
I will say this: at the end, when it only because we had kept getting so many flashbacks. When we saw the hallway and heard the music, it immediately came to my goddamn mind, Easy Street. When I was like, oh, that's not Easy Street. Because it was the far off hallway and you just hear music.
If they had played that, I would have thrown my remote at the TV.
That'd been great.
That was the thought that I had. And then when I realized what Victor was doing, I was like, this motherfucker.
Yeah, you would think Easy Street. Casey is the same one who, when we went to ATL Comic Convention earlier this year because it was mostly Walking Dead theme. She started singing Easy Street in the car. No, did you start? You started playing Easy Street.
It.
Yes, she played it.
That shit was stuck in my head the rest of the day.
We'll
and
do it
she's
again.
Sitting there dancing like it's the best thing ever. Oh, whatever. Y'all have any final thoughts on this episode?
Play that at the
no.
At the party.
No.
I'm gonna make a suggestion.
No.
What's the DJ name? Let me hit him up right quick.
No, I'm not. No.
Easy Street.
Matter of fact, let me get Oscar. This needs to be the end of the song.
On that note, that's it for our show. You can find us online at www.fandomhybrid.com. We are on social media on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads. We have a Blue Sky account now at Fandom Hybrid. You can watch our videos on our YouTube channel. You can chat with us on our Discord channel, and you can listen to us on all major podcast streaming platforms. Thanks for listening. We hope you join the conversation next time.